the last one for a while.
Till Tuesday.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
George, there were some high-end players available at the start of the second round. Some guys that could be classified as first-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty happy with what you were able to
Yeah,
accomplish there?
yeah, we were happy to get Haig because we thought he was a first-round pick. And every once in a while, somebody slides for unknown reasons. But we took a lot of skill in the first round, highly intelligent, skilled players, and wasn't intentionally trying to balance it out. It just sort of worked that way. We get the big guy in Haig, and then the trade came up, Colasar for the middle second round pick, and we sort of added some size and some muscle. So it was unintended, but they were the right guys at the right time, and it worked out.
You talked about IQ. Haig is the Ontario Hockey League Scholastic Player of the Year. He came in and he talked to the media and there's a different level of maturity there. He said, I'm not counting myself out. I'm going to camp to try and make that team. That was the first time we heard that from one of your guys. Did he do some things at the combine that kind of opened your eyes to him a little bit?
No, not necessarily. We've liked him all year. I don't think the combine made much of a difference. His interview was fine. We just thought that his hockey sense was really good, and he's a big guy. He knows how to play. He makes good reads. He's got a good stick, and that if we take our time and develop him right, he could be a pretty good player.
Would you like?
That's that's what's important now. We feel like we made good picks, but now we have to develop these kids properly, and each kid, will do it in different ways.
What'd you like about the goalies you picked?
We really liked them. We wanted to get a couple of goalies, and we had both of them high on our list. And Dave Pryor, who oversees all of our goaltending, was excellent in coming over as we were going through the rounds. And we indicated, are you ready to do this now? And he said, if you guys have players in rounds 3 and 4, take the player out. I think we can get these guys a little bit later. And so I liked the way that he worked with our scouting staff to get two guys that he's high on and still, get other players earlier, because we did have other players that we wanted to grab.
Were you looking at Michael DiPietro for Vancouver, Bradley, and Bullshit?
We actually, I don't do this very often, but we had these two guys right at the top of our list. And I don't like disclosing that very often, but I'm tired and I'm doing it today, I guess.
Colasar, he's got muscle and skill, and he's also 20. Is that important for you to have like a guy a little bit closer?
Yeah, that was a real nice fit. Columbus did a good job. They drafted him in the 3rd round. It was a good pick, and they converted into a 2nd round. And they have sort of a little bit of a backup there in players. They have lots of players. So it was a nice fit for us to get a good-sized guy who plays hard, and we like the way he plays, and he has ability, but he can go right into Chicago for us now. He's not a kid that's going to go back to amateurs, so we don't have enough kids in that age group, understandably, because the expansion process gives us one level of player and the draft gives us another. It helps us fill in the middle a little bit there.
You have a nice mix of size too. I think you've got like 5 guys who are 6'1" or taller. You've got the big defenseman. Even Glass seems like he could grow. So you've got some skill, you've got some size.
Yeah.
Some centers.
It was a nice. I think it was a nice. We accomplished a lot of things. We got a lot of skill in this draft. We got some size. We got goaltending, and again, some of the kids that aren't as big as the others. I've always felt that if you're good enough, you're big enough.
That's not by design. That's sort of just the way it fell. Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah, but we Branston's a smaller guy, but he might be the best defenseman in the draft. And it was the right time to take him. And I'm glad that we took him.
When you talk about development, this year is going to be a strange year because you don't have a ton of players. So a young kid might come to camp and be better than some of your players that you have on your AHL players, but then you have to decide he might be better than some of our guys, but it's still not the right time to bring him in. How are you going to gauge it, George?
Yeah, well, we'll watch them, and we're going to be really smart about how we do it. We're not going to fast track anyone. It never hurts a kid to play an extra year of junior, 2 years of junior. It's better to overcook them than throw them in there raw. And it's like having a kid in 8th grade suddenly go to 11th or 12th grade. It's too much, not only on the ice but socially for some of these kids. So we'll be open-minded about, someone's ready, you play them, but there's a good chance all these kids are going back to amateur.
Will most of these picks be at the Elgin camp, or will we have?
Yeah, no, most of them will be there.
Now that you've gotten through this draft, how quickly do you want to start shaping the expansion draft? The players that you took from the expansion draft.
Tomorrow morning we're going to meet. We're going to fly back to Vegas tonight. Get together tomorrow morning. Get back to work.
You expect a lot of movement in the next week?
There'll be some activity. I don't know how much, but
Is it important to get it done before free agency, both because other teams need to know and you need to know?
yeah. We don't have a ton of work to do. We have a few things to do, and I think we can do them. So we will explore the free agent market, but we like our team right now. We've got that speed down the middle, and we've got the scoring on the wings, and we have veterans and young guys on the blue line and real good goaltending. So we're in a pretty good place.
George, all the time you guys spent assembling the scouts and the expansion of player entry, and all the time you spent on the road with all those scouts and then assembling there in Summerlin. If you had to just assess that whole team at York, what would you say?
Well, I think they deserve an A+. We could not have worked harder at this and been better prepared. And I think there's been a calmness about in the way we've gone through everything, because we were ready for everything. We were ready for what transpired in the expansion draft, and our strategy seemed to work really well. And we were ready for this draft. We predicted what guys would be available, and we drafted a bunch of really good players. And this could not have gone better in my mind. I just mentioned to the guys, boy, I guess this week's over, and it's been quite a week. But, I don't think it could have gone better. And, as a manager, you know when you've done a good job, and you know when you haven't. And we did a good job.
That's what you said to them when you got up from the table?
Yes.
To your staff?
Yes.
You anticipate a couple more guys, thank you. Free agency next Saturday?
Well, we're going to talk to people, see what's going on, certainly. You've
What
got
are
to
the
check every
discussions?
resource available to make your team better.
There were some discussions during the 72-hour window that you said you'll pick up on July 1 with a couple guys, or are you starting from scratch?
Well, yeah, because things changed based on who we claimed in expansion.
On picking or signing Derek Englund during the expansion draft, was that more of a priority to sign him, or was that more based on Calgary's protected list?
It was a little of both. It was, we had interest in him, and he was there, and there's some things we didn't like about what else was available, and we just thought this would be a good fit for us. Leadership, some grit, some size, and he's from Vegas.
How key was that, being from Vegas?
Well, we're not going to sign someone just because they're from Vegas, but we liked him. Whether it didn't matter where he's from. It happens to be really nice that he is from Vegas.
Thanks, George.
Thanks, guys.